Hi, this is Alex Cosper for SacTV.com, and instead of a Riverside chat, this is my recording studio chat. And I want to talk about how 2025 has gotten off to a kind of a radical year. Trump's been a radical guy who has signed a bunch of executive orders, like 200 orders in his first week, and some of it was good. I mean, like I mentioned last time, he cracked down on the JFK assassination. They need to release the files so that we find out what really happened instead of the bogus Warren report, which is just full of crap. So yeah, that's all right. But a lot of what Trump's doing is, to put it mildly, controversial. Like he's really upsetting a lot of not just the establishment, but just everybody. He's just letting Elon Musk raid the Treasury, getting into everyone's personal information as far as taxes and all that. And Elon Musk is supposed to create government efficiency when you look at his companies and they're not that efficient. Tesla's not an efficient company. Come on, they're an over bloated, overrated stock in the stock market. It's actually trading 185 times higher than its earnings, and that's considered a super bubble. Because if you take away the stock, he's not the richest man in the world anymore. And the reason why he's on Trump's team is because he's the richest man in the world. He's supposed to be someone who proved that he was, a successful businessman. Self-made, right? No. You know how I've told you this story before about how Elon Musk did not start Tesla, the car company. He bullied his way in as an investor, and then he ran out the two founders of the company who actually knew what they were doing. One was an engineer, one was more of a financial guy who went to my high school here in Sacramento. Musk gets all this credit for being Mr. Genius when he didn't even start the company, and he's put out all kinds of speculative press releases and presentations that make it seem like he's at the cutting edge of everything that's involved with technology. And he's the king of AI, but it's just, a lot of hype is what it really is. And now he's working with Trump, and it's scaring a lot of people. And then Trump says he wants to take back the Panama Canal, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. That was started by Theodore Roosevelt back in the early 1900s, and Roosevelt offered the canal, that we would build the canal, and Colombia said, no, we don't want it. Colombia, which owned Panama at the time. And so what did Roosevelt do? He decided to send in troops and overthrow, actually liberate Panama from Colombia. So then Panama became its own independent country, and then he started moving in to build the canal. They didn't like that. We paid them to lease the land to install our canal there. So anyway, that was in the early 1900s, and then, decades go by till in the 70s, Carter said, okay, we'll give you the canal back in 1999, and that's what happened. We leased the land, okay, and now Trump wants to steal it. Okay, I try to be objective when I talk about Trump, but it's hard because he's such a corporate fascist, and that is not a stretch of the imagination. Now, what's funny about fascism and Marxism, they're supposed to be two extreme different things, right? Fascism, as defined by Mussolini, was the merging of corporate and state interests, handing out lots of big contracts to corporations and then crumbs to the people. It's been that way since at least the 1920s, but really the imperialism started to creep in, like in the 1890s. But anyway, someone who worked at Quad after I did was Kim Iversen. She has a talk show on the internet, and she's done a lot of good work as far as interviewing really cool people. But somehow in the election of 2024, she went from progressive to flipping to Trump. Okay, now that stands out as odd to me, for lots of reasons, because Trump is an anti-environmentalist. He thinks that the whole thing's a hoax. Anything about climate change to him is a hoax, because he's brainwashed by, I would say, corporate people. But what's funny is the oil industry, the most corporate of all industries, has admitted they were the ones who spread the fake story. There's no such thing as climate change. Anyway, I want to play a video for you to show that Kim Iversen, she's really good, or has been in the past, but lately she's been slipping. She has this guy on her show who's trying to say that the CIA, their goal was to turn us all into Marxists. Okay, that I can tell you for sure is not true. So I don't know why she would put this guy on her show, other than he's a Trump supporter and that he thinks Trump is some great reformer. And so she throws this clown on her show, and then he ends up saying wrong stuff. I'll play it for you, but he got his Bushes mixed up. Like he said George H.W. Bush was president during 9/11 and then reorganized the CIA. That's not true. It was his son, George W. Bush, the dumber Bush, was president during 9/11. Okay, they were both not Marxists. Okay, they were closer to fascists. And that's what we've seen a lot. Fascism is the merging of corporate and state interests. That's how Mussolini defined it. He's the one who coined the term. Okay, now let's listen to what this clown has to say.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't mind culling the CIA entirely, but then, if we do, it won't matter. They'll just absorb into all the other intelligence agencies that we have, because we have so many now. How many do we have? Like 18?
18.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to have a larger number that have different roles, because you don't have a single omnipotent one that can control everything. That was the idea of having a larger group of intelligence agencies with their own discipline, because then they could never be a threat to our constitutional republic. The problem came really when President George H.W. Bush, after 9/11, and Congress set up the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to coordinate these different intelligence agencies. It was only supposed to have 100 people in it. Now it has over 2,000, plus 2,000 and more contractors.
So he said the wrong thing. Mixed up his Bushes.
Yeah.
For that one office that was only supposed to have 2 school bus loads of people.
This guy, I don't know. I don't think he even knows what Marxism is or what it means. But he tried to say that's been the secret push behind the CIA all along, is to turn us all into Marxists. And the name of this show that Kim is hosting, the episode's called "The Woke Takeover: The Shocking Reason America's Youth Are Embracing Marxism." Okay, I still don't know if even she knows what Marxism is. Okay, it's a demonized word for one thing, but it's also a theory. See, it's only been a theory. It's never really been practiced in the real world. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's just a theory created by Karl Marx from the 1800s. He was never in power. He was just an author, and he wrote the Communist Manifesto, and that was a critique on capitalism. It predicted that workers would someday overthrow their capitalist owners and then take over the means of production and turn it into a shared community. That's what Karl Marx believed, okay? He didn't believe in what the USSR became or any of that other stuff, okay? the word communist, um, that's supposed to be derived from the word community. Okay, so he wanted to create a shared community, like the song "Imagine" by John Lennon. That's kind of what he had in mind. But see, it was a utopian concept that got demonized by not just the CIA but the FBI. So this guy's got it backwards. After World War II, the CIA recruited Nazis through Operation Paperclip. That's what it was called. It's documented. You can read about it on Wikipedia or lots of other sources. You know, it really did happen in history that after the fall of Nazi Germany, the U.S. government recruited a bunch of Nazis. And they wanted secrets for biological weapons and that kind of stuff. So this guy's got it wrong. Nazis were always against Marxism. Hitler hated Marxism. The whole idea of Marxism is despised by almost every other type of leader in the world, even communists. Stalin was only part Marxist, and before him Lenin was part Marxist, but neither of them were pure Marxists. Lenin was better than Stalin as far as a human being. Stalin was a mass murderer like Hitler, but somehow Stalin was our partner in World War II. And until after that, then the Cold War started, and he became an enemy. And then what's funny is Khrushchev, who succeeded him in the Soviet Union, created a program called de-Stalinization. He hated Stalin. So it's just a funny history of egotists, egomaniacs who just wanted to be in control of their countries. They weren't really Marxists, okay? But our establishment tries to brainwash everyone into believing that Marxism is the same as communism, and it's not. Other than Marx believed that communism was the end result following socialism. In other words, the evolution went from capitalism to socialism to communism. And capitalism was, we all know what that is. Owners control the means of production, and they make all the profits. They decide on the prices. Okay, not workers. Workers don't have that much control in our society. And then socialism would be that phase where workers overthrow the owners, and he did advocate violence to the degree of making sure the workers overthrew the owners. But he himself didn't believe that that's how it should be in the end. He just thought that was a transition phase, and that in the end it's this beautiful utopia type imagined place where it's a shared community and there are no classes, there is no upper class, that everyone's equal in terms of economics. So anyway, this guy was so wrong. He was trying to pitch this phony theory that the CIA, their hidden agenda is to turn us all into Marxists. That's not true. There's a lot of fake information on the internet, a lot of dreamers. See, what it is, Trump's gang, they're demonizers of Marxism, of course. So is Biden. Biden's a corporate fascist, just like Trump. And so corporate fascists hate Marxism because Marxism isn't really about corporate control or cartelism, which is what fascism is about. And it's what we see kind of in our world. Anyway, this is just, letting you know that I do my research. Some people don't. I like Kim Iversen as a host. Like I said, she worked at Quad about 10 years after I did. And then she went on to do national radio type stuff and then got her own internet show on YouTube. normally she's right on the money, or has been in the past, as far as progressive issues. But again, she started bending to the right with all the Trump propaganda. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not out to get Trump or his fans. I'm more of a historian who looks at what he's doing as it's it's definitely different. Anyway, I have a different kind of twist for you right now. It's one of my songs that's also about the spy world, and it'll be featured on my upcoming album, Time Tunnels. This song's called Spies Around the World.
Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Yeah, spies around the world. Now we all know someone who dances in the shade. And we all know someone who's been thrown to the wind. We all know someone who plays a charade. We all know someone who tells secrets to a friend. Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Yeah, spies around the world. Now we all know someone who wears shades with a suit and tie. And we all know someone who tells a great big lie. We all know someone who's not afraid to die. We all know someone who was born to be a spy. Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Spies around the world. Yeah, spies around the world. Those spies around the world fly around the world. Spies around the world, where the skies is around the world. Those spies around the world use disguises around the world. Those spies around